Morning. It is a nice morning. So things have happened. So last night as we were going over the connector, dispatch messaged us and goes, hey, you think you can get to Lavington before 6? It's like, yeah, we can get there before 5. Well, they do loading till 6. Left it there. Got to Lavington. Nobody had done up our paperwork for late loading. It's like, dope. It's like if I had known that I wouldn't have rushed to Lavington, I would have pulled over at the rest area here, enjoyed a little bit, but it worked out. Got loaded first thing in the morning. We were first in line this way, so loaded Lavington, then pulled into Vernon at the turn. You have to turn onto Highway 97 here. I see an arrow truck driving past in front of us. I'm like, hey, that's our neighbor. And it's like, oh shoot, we try to park in the same, we always fight over parking spots. It's like, uh-oh, I gotta try to pass him, but he's got a Canadian load, I got a US load, so I passed him climbing the hill out of Vernon. He says he has to unload first anyway in Penticton, so I'll beat him home. I get to steal the first parking spot over the long weekend.
We actually did the whole red light thing.
I started passing him on the hill in Vernon, and right at the top there's a red light there. And I just rolled open our window. I was passing him as a red light there, so I just opened my window, had a chat with him. And it sucks racing at a red light, two big rigs loaded side by side going up a hill during rush hour. There was traffic behind us, so that's like, all these cars are gonna hate us. And he's got a manual transmission, I have an automatic. If you're good at the manual transmission, you will always win the fight on the line. So he was beating me till he was almost past me, and then I started beating him. It's like those cars behind us must just thoroughly hate me right now. It's like, I got on the VHF and chatted with him. He said he'd slow down a bit to let me go by so the cars don't hate us as much. It was comical. I was like, I know what I would be thinking if I was in a car behind us right now. And it wouldn't be pleasant, so let's see if we can end this.
You're like, my neighbor, we gotta beat him.
It's like, and I can't let off. It's our neighbor. I have to get to our parking spot before he does. We're both laughing and going. It's like, you might have a manual transmission, you can beat me off the line, but I got a US load, so I will get you. And then he said he had to deliver anyway. It's like, well, okay, I guess we're not racing anymore. It's a long weekend. It's going to be hard to find parking spaces. He now already knows that I will be parked there, so he can keep an eye out for other parking spaces. So it's good for him knowing already that I'll be in there, and it's good for me being there early. I'll more likely get a spot.
But like, what are the chances of any errors?
Yeah, you don't. That's the first time I've ever run into him. For the last 2 years, we've been parking the same spot. Like, we run into each other on weekends every now and then. We start our shift the same time of the week on a Sunday, or we end our shift at the same time on a Friday. We run into each other when we're parked in Penticton, but never met each other on the road before. That was kind of fun. He's catching up with me.
Less talking, more driving.
Less talking, more driving. No, I can't speed here. That's not fair. You can't catch up with me downhill.
I'm starting to wonder where you're done. What happened?
We have GPS satellite monitored. We've got to be within 10 kilometers of the speed limit at all times.
Oh, wow, okay. They're a little bit more micromanaged than we are on that side. We're speed capped at 99, but yeah, we're not, monitored too closely to the posted speed limit.
Yeah, ever since Sutco lost that driver, they've gotten a little stingier on the speed limits and stuff.
I bet they have. They took a lot of flack over that one, yeah.
Yeah, I know Chambers is pretty strict on the speeding too. I think quite a bit stricter than we are.
You're not Jeff, are you?
What?
He wants to know if you're Jeff.
No, I'm Juan. Jeff Suman, he's actually going to be back in trucks again soon. He's working in the office right now.
Oh, okay, yep.
Did I pronounce his name right?
Yeah. I don't think he ever responded to my trouble.
Yeah, and Sutco's actually pretty lenient about it. When you do speed over 10 kilometers, you're allowed to do it so many times a day going down a hill. If you accidentally go over, they won't email you right away, but if you do it consistently, you get hammered.
Yeah, it's sort of like us. They allow us a certain percentage over the 100 to roll out the hills or get a run at them and stuff, but yeah, if it gets excessive, then you haul in and you get your PB slapped.
Yeah, I find it fairly fair. I see their point of safety type of thing. You want to make sure your drivers aren't doing 120 down the highway and running over four-wheelers and buses and rolling over and such.
Yep, exactly.
I know over the last 2 years our safety has improved dramatically, because 2 years ago we were rolling trucks over on flat, dry roads, and now we're not doing much of any accidents.
Yeah, but a few years ago, yeah, you guys had a lot of immigration workers from Jamaica and stuff, though, too, that were really new to the country and new to snow.
Yeah, it's a learning curve.
Yep.
And we run Highway 3 a lot. That highway is not forgiving.
No, it's definitely not. It's, a few years ago, I was headed up the canyon. I had a Sutco chip truck blowing my doors off, and I was doing over 100. He passed me and the car in front of me, and I thought, holy cow, we're ready to get somewhere.
Yeah, you won't see that now. If you see one of those, they'll only be doing that a few times before they will get suspended or not work there anymore.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that either. I think the industry definitely needs to be cleaned up, and so.
Yep, hold everybody to the same standards.
Yep.
See, now I'm slowly pulling away from him again. Yeah, we do actually hire a lot of Jamaican drivers. They're awesome guys. We hire some really good drivers from there. Canada has made it harder for them to come into Canada now, so we've hired less of them now in the recent months. Some of the laws have changed. But yeah, they do have.
Imagine parking's going to be at a premium down there today. I imagine Glenn's probably just full parked for the day down there already, so.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Long weekend, it should be a fun time to find any parking spots at all. If it's all full everywhere, I think I'll drive to the scale and drop my trailers there, but I'm headed south on Monday, so I prefer to not drop the trailers off anywhere.
Yeah, no, I might have to end up doing the same. I haven't heard, but I'm assuming I'll be heading for Princeton, but but whatever. If I have to drop out of the scale and just bobtail the tractor back, so be it.
Scale will probably be full too.
The scale will probably be full of trailers. But yeah, a lot of those drivers, they are very from Jamaica. They've never seen snow before, so we have stricter safety policies on that too. We don't allow them to ride in the first snowstorm by themselves now. They have to be partnered with people, training as often as they need to. It's pretty cool, our safety program now. Definitely drastically improved.
And he would have qualified for that program too when he started. In the green driving.
Oh yeah. Same with I'm not saying just Jamaicans. I mean everybody. Everybody that joins Sutco. Oh come on. Slow car speeds up as I pass them, making the people behind me not happy again. Yeah, every single new driver, every driver we hire, no matter how experienced or inexperienced, on the first snowstorm gets a partner. Or you can just park it. If we can't partner you up with someone, just park and don't drive in the snowstorm, because we don't want people to be upside down in the ditch if you're not experienced with snow.
The learning curve.
Because snow in the big Super B, 2 trailers, is a huge learning curve. Like I was saying to our neighbor behind us, that 2 years ago we were losing trucks on flat, beautiful weather. Like a day like today, we were having trucks rolling over. And with our speed limits now, that we have to stay within 10 kilometers of speed limit at all times, including corners, the suggested speeds. And then holding people accountable if they're not, has really cut down on accidents, like huge. Like you guys saw last year, I was in the ditch. The year before, I rolled the truck. Things still happen. We still have every year a couple of trucks that end up in the ditch. Things happen. But we're well below the industry standard now. It's awesome to have a safe team now. Quite impressed with how seriously we take safety now, but also don't harp on the driver if they make a mistake, or if you go down a hill and end up going a little bit too quick going down a hill. You're allowed to make that mistake once or twice, a couple times a day, right? If you drive for 13 hours a day, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to miss a speed limit sign and not quite get down where you're supposed to, but basically don't make it excessive. He's caught right up with me thanks to the red light again. Good thing he's unloading, or else this would be would definitely still be a race. Okay, we're not getting going. Most of the time they all get going and I don't have to do the double slowdown. It'd be nice to be home this early in the day. We should be home around 10:30, I think. 10:30 a.m. must be a different driver. I don't know what that was. Maybe he said looking forward to going home.
Sorry, what was that?
Airport in. It's all boarded up, fenced off. They finally closed it down. It's such a health and safety issue. Yeah, we're getting into Kelowna. There's so many truck drivers that'll be talking to each other. In fact, there'll be a lot of swearing coming up soon, usually as we get into Kelowna, so I should probably turn it down. Looks like it'll be a cloudy day, so I don't think I'll be working outside today at all. We'll see if tomorrow gets nicer. Tomorrow's supposed to be sunny? Sunny-ish. So we'll relax at home today, and then tomorrow maybe go and work outside. Sunday should be nice as well? Okay. And we'll kind of have to make it up as we go.
You might not get sun.
As long as it's warm during the day.
It's supposed to be 11.
I totally missed the sign. Like I was saying, we're allowed to make those mistakes. That would have been, I was going 20 over. I think I'm allowed to make that mistake once or twice in a day. Can't remember the exact number. Maybe it's 3 times you're allowed to go more than 15 over before you get an email. But you can only make that mistake once. Or I only want to make that mistake. You don't want to make that mistake at all. And 25 over is hard stop. 25 over is a flat out. You can just get an email right away. So that was from Vernon. Well, we were already leaving Vernon. Outskirts of Vernon to Lake Country. It's been a good Friday so far. I think I'll enjoy the rest of the day. It's a good morning. Didn't get loaded like yesterday, like we possibly could have gotten loaded, but that's okay. We still get home pretty early today. So, yeah, you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up. And don't forget, I'll be doing live Q&As on the weekend. I mean, it's all it is me playing video games and chatting with whoever comes in live chat. But come and ask me anything you want on the weekends. Usually around 9 a.m. on a Saturday or Sunday or both. Adios.